You're sure that sorrel came this way, Dempsey?
Pretty dang sure, boss.
Jay squeezed the Henry in her hands. She started to raise it when, for some reason, a footstep caught her off guard. As she whipped her head around to see Myra, holding Dell's old model Winchester carbine, take another step forward and drop to a knee.
Sorry.
Myra glanced with concern at Jay. Jay whipped her head back around to stare into the canyon.
What was that?
The rancher turned his head and looked up toward Jay, the brim of his high-crowned Stetson rising to reveal his broad red face. His jaws hardened, his eyes narrowed.
There they are.
Baldinger took the rifle he was holding in both hands, sat up straight in the saddle, glaring up the shelf at Jay and Myra.
You killed my son, you wild she-cat! You killed my son! Todd's dead!
Jay pumped around into the Henry's action and raised the rifle to his shoulder.
And so are you!
Baldinger started to raise his own rifle. Jay steadied the Henry's sights on the man's forehead and squeezed the trigger. But just then the Palomino started, lunging forward and to one side. Jay's bullet caromed inches behind the rancher's head to blow a slender limb off a cedar. Baldinger fired his own rifle just as the Palomino reared, giving a shrill whinny. As Baldinger's bullet crashed into the face of Jay's covering rock, kicking up a shrill ringing in Jay's ears, the rancher threw his left arm out wide. He went tumbling off his pitching mount's right hip.
Oh, Christ!
Baldinger struck the muddy trail.
Damn!
Jay ejected the spent cartridge and seeded a fresh one in the Henry's breech. Jay lined up the sights again at Baldinger as one of the men hastily dismounted behind him.
Boss, you all right?
Baldinger pushed himself up quickly to glare up the shelf at Jay. He was now hatless, his right cheek streaked with mud. Good thing for him, he rose right then, or Jay's next bullet would have carved a hole right through his weathered forehead. Instead, it plumed mud and rainwater where his head had been half an eye wink before. Baldinger heaved himself to his feet.
You harlot! You goddamn soiled dumb bitch!
And skedaddled off the trail into the rocks on the trail's far side just as Jay's next bullet slammed into a rock just right of her intended target.
Damn it!
Again, Jay drew her head back behind the rock as Baldinger's three hands began triggering lead at her. Myra crouched behind another rock a few feet to Jay's right. As the ranch hand's bullets hammered the rock she and Jay were crouched behind. She looked at Jay apologetically above the fusilade's din.
I'm sorry I didn't help. They sort of caught me by surprise.
That's all right.
The bullets crashed into hers and Myra's covering rocks.
That wasn't much help either.
Jay paused.
Just let them pop all the caps they want. Maybe they'll run out of bullets.
When the shooting tapered off, both Jay and Myra snaked their own rifles through the gap between the rocks. Jay set her sights on the left cheek of a man poking his head out between a rock and a short, stout cedar and fired. The man's big head jerked back so sharply that his hat fell forward. He slammed back against the ground, clutching that cheek with his gloved right hand and writhed there. Jay shot him again, this time in the chest, just before the other three opened up on her and Myra again. Myra had just fired an errant round and now, pulling her head back behind her own rock, looked at Jay.
That's more like it. Culled the herd a little.
The three men's shooting tapered off again. Baldinger poked his head out from behind his own covering boulder to the right of the other two men.
You're gonna die slow here today, Jay! Should have done it my way! It would have been so much quicker! You're gonna die slow! Like my boy died! Good shot!
Myra glanced at Jay.
He means business.
So do I.
Jay pumped another round into the Henry's action, quickly snaked the rifle through the gap between her and Myra's rocks, drew a bead on Baldinger's half-exposed face, and fired.